So today I want to talk to you about the Investigator's Toolbox. You guys know that it's been a big part of this show here, and it's something that recently was featured in PI Magazine. They have a legacy discount, and the discount is running until the end of the year. It's been extended to 12/31/20. So if you're interested in checking out that site, it's www.investigators-toolbox.com. Please go check it out. If you're interested in joining, the discount will run out at the end of the year, and you're going to end up missing out on the $50 discount. So go check it out. We've got a great community in there, a bunch of investigators already, some great material. It's got webinars, blogs, OSINT research that you can curate through your own private library. So investigators-toolbox.com. Go check it out today.
Want full data access without a site inspection? IRB Search gives you full Social Security numbers, dates of birth, up-to-date contact info, and so much more, without the inconvenience or cost of an inspection. As an added bonus, you can access IRB data on any device in any location. You'll always have the best data, anytime, anywhere. Visit irbsearch.com and use exclusive promo code PI Podcast 2020 for a free trial and 100 credits. Offer available for new and returning customers. Welcome to PI Perspectives. Today's show has an international flair. Matt speaks with Phil and Yin Johnson from JJ Associates International. They run a multinational investigation firm and have cases all over the world. Matt met these two in 2007 at an NCISS event in New York City. Over the years, they've done a bunch of work together. Phil and Yin are joining us from Portugal today. Please welcome JJ Associates, Phil and Yin Johnson, and your host, private investigator, Matt Spaier.
Well, welcome everybody to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. We have gone over the pond, and I thought we're going to be in England, but apparently we're not in England. We're in a completely different country. I think you guys are in Portugal, right?
Yeah, we are.
Portugal. Okay, so we've got Phil and Yin Johnson from JJ Associates International. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing fine, thank you, Matt. And it's great to see you and speak to you.
Yeah. Yin, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody that's listening out there in the PI world.
Right. So
casting live from Portugal,
right? So we thought we were going to England, but apparently not. So that's cool. And you guys have actually been in Portugal since January. Is that correct?
Yes, we have. Because of the lockdown situation and the flights that are available from the UK, where we're also based.
Right.
We had to leave the UK because of the flight situation and also the quarantine situation. Everybody who didn't have accommodation or needed to work had to get the flights out, and it was the same getting back in.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge, and I can only assume, the international investigative work that you guys do, really, it's a tightrope. I'm sure every country had different guidelines with how they were handling COVID, and at different times, correct?
Yeah, they do. And when we were serving international process, which we do for USA clients, they were always stipulating exactly what the client wanted. And
right.
Sometimes they'd send over a pro forma of how the process server actually had to approach the door and the distance, and we had to film everything on many occasions.
Sure.
And the same with taking statements and other types of investigations.
Yeah. I know, like here in New York, we definitely took an online approach to it. So the governor in New York State signed off on an order that authorized notaries to be done via Zoom and whatever. So that really changed the way we were able to do things. And it was good because we were able to actually continue to get work. Now, the bad part about it is our attorney clients go, what am I hiring the investigator for? I'll just do the Zoom myself and notarize it. So that has been the backbite of it. It's actually supposed to expire tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to continue it or not. I'm checking the website daily just to see, but it was something that was helpful, and I'm sure you guys have used technology to connect the dots and pivot a little bit on your end. But let's back it up a little bit, because I want to talk a little bit about your history, because you guys have been in this business for a very, very long time. I was trying to figure out when we actually met, and I think it was 2007 is when they had that event in New York City.
Yeah, right.
It was like an NCISS event that was like sponsored by I don't know, like 3 other organizations. And here I am at I think it was like the Hilton in New York City, and I see this couple, and I'm like, I'm going to go talk to these folks, and we hit it off, right? We established a friendship, and you needed some process service done in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, I did, and we did quite a lot together. I seem to recall that.
Yep.
Backwards and forwards. I think at that time, me and Yin we'd probably just finished. We were actually the international associate editors for PI magazine.
Oh, right. Yes. Yep.
And Rowe.
Yep.
They appointed us for a while, and we visited them and stayed with them on many occasions.
Actually, on that occasion.
It could have been, in fact, it was on that occasion.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To Jimmy and Rose's house up in Jersey.
In Jersey, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always remember that conference because that's where I met Michael Baden, which is, he's like the forensic autopsy guy. And I had been doing a lot of nursing home cases at the time with death, deaths involved. And I had to go photograph corpses and remains. So I asked him, I was like, hey, give me some pointers on what to do. And he's like, I got to go to an appointment, but you can follow me. You can walk with me. And I actually left the conference and walked about 10 blocks with him. And just picked his brain for about 15, 20 minutes, which was really awesome. Fast forward, I met him again last year, and so it was definitely an interesting thing. So that conference, we had a UK agent who we'd never met before, right.
And we got him hooked up on the Nancy Grace show.
Oh wow!
So he left the.
You left the conference too.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, multitasking. Right.
Yeah, Tom Shamshak, who was, used to work a lot with Nancy Grace.
Sure.
And Tom asked this guy and said, "Do you want to come on the show?" So off he went. We never saw him again, Matt. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, you're in New York. You got to do business. You got to multitask and get the bang for your buck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really, really cool. So, I mean, listen, you guys have been in business for a while. I mean, and Yin, you came to the UK as a child, right? Cantonese, I think, is your background.
My family's from Hong Kong and China.
Right.
I was actually first generation born in Bradford. So.
Oh, you were born in Bradford. Okay.
And I do, and I always say I'm from Bradford.
Right.
And hence my accent.
There you go.
Accent. And
I don't hear it. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah, you do.
It's quite a distinct accent, actually.
Right.
But I don't speak Cantonese with my Yorkshire accent. I speak it with a Hong Kong accent. So.
Right. Okay. That's
fluent
important.
in. So when we've been living in Hong Kong, when we come across new people, they say, I can't believe that you're from the UK and
right.
you speak like us. So it's quite amazing, really.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I'm sure then when you start talking Portuguese, that really blows people's minds, right?
Yeah, I'm not treated as a typical expat.
Right.
They just assume that I can speak their language, and I can. So,
right.
Fala Portuguese and Bom dias are the usual greetings, but
sure.
Holding a conversation with our Portuguese friends is a lot easier now.
Yeah, I'm sure. And now that you're mandated to stay in the country, it's probably only getting better, right?
I know. It does help, yeah.
So how many languages total do you think you speak in?
Yin speaks many.
Well, I speak Yorkshire. I speak English, I suppose. No, I'm kidding. So, hablo español.
Right.
Buenos días.
Right.
And I speak that, and I've had to speak that at a conference recently.
Wow.
Talking to over 300 delegates. It was quite a challenging hour or two,
Right.
but I managed to get through in Spanish, so I was quite proud of myself.
That's good.
And obviously now, falo Portuguese. I have school French, and that's come in handy recently around here. We've got lots of French people that have come along, and they're starting to relocate here.
Yeah.
I can speak a little bit of German, also a language I learn at schools, and having travelled and lived short periods of time in Italy.
Yep.
When I'm there, I can get through a little intermediate. As soon as I can hear it, that's the secret with languages. Usually when you hear it and you've had a background, a little introduction to it in the past, you can just you
find your way
into it.
So I got one question for you. What language do you dream in?
Both. It depends. Really strange thing.
That's a great question.
I was always curious about that.
Different languages, I would say.
Yeah.
Different situations. Obviously, when you're dreaming, different situations turn up, and it will be in that language.
Well, there you go.
That's where the food comes in, Matt.
There you go. Well, we're going to get to that later.
I'll tell you a little bizarre story, quite short, but I recently travelled to Morocco last year.
Yeah.
And I was on a short vacation, and we flew from Spain. Me and my girlfriend flew from Spain, from Sevilla. And the links with Morocco are obviously Spanish and Portuguese here, because they're of the Moors invading years ago. And the common language with the manager who ran the riad where we were staying was Spanish. We went through quite a few, just as I've spoken to you now.
Right.
And it's always a laugh when I say, I speak Cantonese. And they say, no. Then when I got to Hablo Español, well, that was the common language that we could both speak quite easily between us. So throughout the stay, I conversed with him in Spanish.
Sure.
My friend who's Canadian, she said, it's just bizarre watching you speak to a Moroccan guy who normally speaks French to foreigners, and us, we speak English together.
Right.
Speaking to him in Spanish.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
So language has come in useful with
many things.
Both travel. But
it's a game changer. It's a game changer. I mean, I see it on a smaller scale in New York, right? Because it is such a melting pot. We do get the calls of, hey, I need somebody who speaks Korean. I need somebody who speaks Polish. I need somebody who speaks Russian. Spanish is like, if you don't have somebody on your staff that speaks Spanish, if you don't, you're not in business because it's, a good amount of the folks in New York are Spanish speaking. And there's even a big Portuguese community in the construction. Languages are really important, right? Being in New York and having all those different types of, language necessities. I'm sure in Europe on that scale, it's even grander.
Very much.
So, Phil, I want to jump back on your angle here. So, getting into this business here, somebody pretty much contacted you about doing this, right? And taking over, was it taking over their business or starting a business? How did that work?
I'll make it very brief. At the age of 14, I was going to see my auntie after playing 10-pin bowling, which I did every Saturday morning.
Right.
And as I went round to my auntie's, she put the kettle on, made a cup of tea, which is what we do in Yorkshire. You've got to do that type of thing. And she said, when you leaving school? I said, well, as soon as possible, because I really disliked school.
Right.
I was really tired of it. And she said, well, would you like a Saturday job in a detective agency? Because I've just started working at one. And I said, oh, yeah, that's a dream come true, of course.
Right.
Of course I want to do it. And I started the following Saturday, and within 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays, the boss, which was a former police officer, the aliens inspector for West Yorkshire Police, he said, if you want to leave school, leave now, and you've got a job with me, and that was that.
Wow.
So that changed the course of my life.
So you were like 003.5, right? 14 years old.
3.5. Yeah, I am vertically challenged, Matt. There's no doubt about that. In fact, I have a nickname. They call me Inch Eye Private Eye.
Inch Eye Private Eye. That's classic.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man.
was my start in this.
That was the first time.
That was the first time round.
Right.
I mean, that's long before I knew Yin.
Yeah. So
Yin has a story to tell you about when she came in.
yeah. And you did a recently on the BBC or radio. You did a program, and I actually happened to listen to it, and I did hear a little bit about your background. So tell me a little bit about what your story is and how you got to where you're at.
I didn't obviously start out to be a PI.
Right.
I'm a sports-orientated person from a first-generation Cantonese family from Hong Kong, and they located there, typical of Chinese immigrants in the late 60s. We had a Chinese restaurant, and we supplied. Then, from going on from there, my father supplied other Chinese restaurants with foodstuffs that he imported from Hong Kong.
Right.
And growing up, I was usually the only Chinese person in school or in the year or in a group. I suppose that gives you courage, and you find resilience because you're the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I developed a love for sports, and I always have had that, and I still do that. And photography. So when it's just over 30 odd years ago now.
34.
34. Wow.
From a previous business colleague, and asked Phil if he would like to take over his business, which was based in West Yorkshire, Leeds, a neighbouring town from us in Bradford.
Okay.
So he came home from work and said, we've got to meet this guy that I've known for quite a long time before I knew you, and he's an investigator, and he wants to introduce you to the business and us, and if we want to take over, we've got a new business opportunity.
Right.
He was retiring, Matt. He'd been in it a long time.
Yeah, and this was 34 years ago.
Yeah, reluctantly.
Yeah, 34 years ago.
Wow.
We went to meet him, had a typical Yorkshire lunch, fish and chips at his favourite restaurant, and we hit it off, and he said, well, you need to find out what it's all about, I suppose, Yin. And I said, yes, I do. And one of his main things was to do workers' compensation claims.
Okay.
He did one of the forerunners of video surveillance in the UK, and worked for quite a few of the larger insurance
companies, yeah,
directly with them. So he said, I've heard that you're good with a camera, which is quite stereotypical of my origin.
Terrible.
So that's all joking aside.
Right.
There's things I can't broadcast. Sure.
Okay.
But it's all tongue in cheek, and it's in being jovial about it. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
I took my camera with the longest zoom lens that I had at the time, and we sat for a couple of hours, and I'm still getting to know this guy.
Sure.
On maybe a second or third meeting, and I sort of I was the camera operator, so
right.
I took the pictures, and we got the pictures for the claim, and eventually it went through the usual process, as you know, and through my evidence that I had taken, the claimant had his case thrown. So we saved the insurance company quite a few £1,000s.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the thrill of being able to, help the company fulfill their means to stop a fraudulent claim is a good feeling, as we
Sure.
know as investigators.
Yeah.
So I went along a couple of times more on different things, and I ended up using a video camera with him, and within the year we'd taken over the business.
That's great.
I did quite a lot of the insurance workers' comp claims.
Sure.
Throughout the UK. I had to travel, obviously, extensively, and be inventive with the vehicle, with the surveillance car or van that I would usually rent. And then we had to organise how we were going to do all the other cases, because
Sure.
we had lots of trace things, and it was quite an all-encompassing investigation company.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely sure. It's
with his wife as well. So
yeah.
I learnt from his wife the office organisation that she had instigated.
Sure.
And well, we went from there. I had made a good friend with the client. He had just newly qualified, and I actually went to court with him every day. So I learnt quite a lot of the legal terminology and the process of how a paper gets issued, and right through to handling the matter as a process agent as well.
Sure.
So I've done it right from the start. Right?
You've done everything. That's fantastic.
Everything, yeah.
Fantastic.
So multitasking
Fantastic.
from everything for all this time.
Okay, we're going to jump out real quick, and when we come back in, I want to talk a little bit more about how you guys have grown your business over the years, and really took it to a more international level. Obviously you started off in England, and then took it further. So everybody sit tight. We're going to be right back.
PI Perspective.
Are you using a case management system? The answer is no. You should really rethink that process, right? So as you guys know, Crosstracks has been an amazing sponsor of the show. They've just been really supportive. As you guys also know, I didn't used to have a case management system. I was the investigator that was fighting them tooth and nail. I finally decided to give it a whirl. What a great decision, right? During the COVID shutdown, I was able to actually roll my whole business into it and get completely up and running. And my clients love it. I mean, just today, I got a phone call from a client of mine who just couldn't believe how easy it was to access everything, and how invoices were there. He actually asked me to go back and upload all my prior cases and put it into Crosstracks. I've been doing business with that firm for, about 8 years, so it's a lot of cases. Yeah, if you don't use a case management system, you should, right? You should check it out. Give Crosstracks a shot. Contact Brad or one of the teammates over there, and they'll get you up and running with a trial and see if it's for you. If you have used Crosstracks and it's been a while and you're not happy with the system that you're in, go check them out. They're doing a lot of really cool new things, and see if it's right for you. If you're unhappy with the system that you're in right now, contact them. The ability for them to roll your system into their system is very easy. Again, you guys know they've been sponsoring this program, and I can't say enough good things about them, but make your own decision, right? Give it a shot on your own and see if it's right for you.
If you are a new private investigator, or if you operate a private investigation agency, you know that acquiring paying clients can be a struggle. Imagine a unique resource of marketing courses and programs made just for private investigators. Introducing the Six-Figure Investigator Marketing Program. It's a community of investigators all over the world learning to become master marketers of their brand. Membership is free for a limited time. Head over to privateinvestigatormentorship.com right now and secure your spot to learning the right way to market your brand. privateinvestigatormentorship.com. PI Perspectives. What do you do when you get calls for bug sweeps? Did you know USABugSweeps.com, the #1 TSCM provider in the country, pays you a 20% commission for converted sales leads? Stop turning money away. USABugSweeps.com uses top-rated technology, and they cover all of the United States. So save time and make money today. Contact USABugSweeps.com and mention PIP20. Do you work with an insurance agency that takes the time to give you the personal attention you deserve? Well, contact Michelle Knoll and her team to get the best customer service and attention available. You never need insurance until you really need insurance. So keep yourself and your business protected. Contact Michelle at mknoll@amoscorp.com. Did you hear about the latest issue of PI Magazine? Friend of the show, Andrea Orozco, has been named PI Magazine's Investigator of the Year. Let's send Andrea our congratulations. It's well-deserved indeed. This issue is available today.
So welcome everybody back to PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spaier, your host. I'm here with Phil and Yin Johnson from JJ Associates International. Welcome back to the program, guys.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a sense of how you guys got into the business, right? And that was 34 years ago. And very interesting that, you can see that, obviously before you started the business, but Phil, your first experience being, 14, and then in your first experience, being, somebody who doesn't look like an investigator who's got a camera, like those are all techniques that we use, right? You never see them coming. You never know that here's this stereotype that's out there, and but she's actually watching. That's fascinating, really.
The first time round, Matt, I was sent on pretext inquiries when I was 16 years of age.
Wow.
Because I looked so young.
Yeah, sure.
No trace inquiries for finance companies because the company was really growing, not our company, but the boss's company.
The other one, right? Yeah. So it's like
he gave me an overcoat, a hat, and a suitcase, and I had to go knock on people's doors looking for the neighbours who done a runner.
Right.
So all that was fantastic at my age.
Yeah, I'm sure it was really really exciting.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you had lots to talk about when you did your bowling events. What I'm doing.
Really good. The last few cases, I've just been to so-and-so and done this. It was really cool.
That's cool. That's cool. So over the years, I mean, you have seen technology change, right? You've seen it help this industry and really help you push the envelope to what you can do and the services that you can offer and the size of your business. I mean, let's face it, with technology, we're able to be a smaller shop yet appear bigger because we can network with other investigators, and there's case management systems now, and we can really have that professional look to it, right? So your company is actually an international company. You sent me a list of the countries that you have open investigations in right now, and it's impressive, right? It's like 12 or 13, right?
Well, we have the phrase that we're known for really is sometimes the end of the line, sometimes everybody's trying to get something done in a country. Right. And usually somebody says, have you tried Phil and Yin?
Exactly.
In all sorts of countries.
I had that happen today, right? No, seriously, I had it happen today. Somebody in one of the Facebook groups said, I need something done in the UK, right? Send me a private message. So I sent him a private message, and I had noticed that he was connected with you, Phil. I said, hey, have you tried Phil? Because, these are the guys to do it. And he's responded back to me, I know Phil well. I just don't think they would like these types of cases.
I must admit, we do everything, but we don't do a great deal of private or matrimonial. It's all really more commercial.
Right.
But we always say that with our connections that we've built up over all these years, and certainly backwards and forwards for 15 years in the USA, we have contacts in all spheres of investigations.
Everywhere, right?
That's really the secret. It's your contact base that we built up through the associations in America and Europe as well.
So what did that look like 30 years ago? It was just putting the time in and going to the events and meeting people, right?
Yeah, that's what we did.
I think it was more 20 years ago, Matt.
20 years ago, probably 20.
All your associations opened up and had these larger conferences and meetups.
Right.
And it was technology that allowed us to do that too, because that's where they came up on the message boards. Everybody's on a message board.
All the Yahoo groups, Matt, which of course
prior to computerization, I would say,
right,
when we were all still with our little pinging typewriter and
Sure.
The little Tipex
Yep.
whitener and correction tape.
Yep. I remember that stuff.
Right on in the office when I brought in the PC, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
Our secretary, they were,
we didn't want to know, Matt. We didn't want to know.
I nearly had to
Get that devil machine out of here.
Yeah.
What is this sorcery?
Typewriters away.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not going to work.
It's a fad, right?
I enrolled us all on the computer literacy course.
Oh, sure.
And again, we had a lot of this.
A lot of trouble from me, particularly.
And our secretary, and they said, it's not going to work, You still have to go and file the cards.
Right.
And anyway, that's allowed us to obviously travel and be a little more freer with our time. We're not tied to our desks as much.
Sure.
As we all experience now.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate that to like recently with like a case management system. I fought it for the longest, right? I always thought I didn't need it. It was just something that was an extra expense that, why would I incur this if I could figure out a way to do it myself efficiently?
Exactly.
Huge mistake. The second I implemented Crosstracks, is who I use, it was a game changer for me. It really freed me up to, really run my business more and stay on top of things and have that answer of, yes, I know what's going on with all my cases at all times. I know where my investigators are. I know what's going on. So yeah, that fight for technology, I can appreciate that. I was just like that.
Yeah, we hear a lot of our investigator friends in America talk about Crosstracks.
Yeah.
So I've been interested to hear your experience.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Yeah. And I think what really opens it up and makes it a huge game changer is their, first of all, they have that SOC certification, which is, something that's brand new here. And I think they may be the only ones that are doing that, that SOC 2, certification and if folks don't know about that, that's with regards to like data management and certain guidelines that they're required to make sure that there's encryption involved and things of that nature. I'm actually going to have Pat Andrews on in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about that a little bit further.
Look forward to that.
Yeah. So my experience with them has been fantastic, right? So the game changer for me is my clients, my attorney clients, being able to look at the status of a case without having to call me. Like, so many less phone calls of what's the status going on or emails, because they know they can just go in and see the investigator's notes and give us further instructions and things like that. Like if I'm going to give them a plug here, right? If you're not using a case management system, you need to use Crosstracks. They're fantastic. They're heavily involved with the Investigator's Toolbox too, which is my other project. They're offering discounts, like 2 months free if you join the Toolbox. It's a really cool thing to have in this case management. But okay, so let's get more back on JJ Associates International. So about 20 years ago is when you guys started taking it to an international level, or?
Yeah, we got the opportunity to come to America because what was happening in the UK was it's getting very competitive. Lots of retired police officers coming in doing the cases part-time. Sure. The budgets for the cases from the lawyers and the insurance companies were all getting smaller and smaller. We actually had contracts at that time with our government connections, which was the Inland Revenue and VAT people, Customs and Excise, but they all wanted things doing for nothing. So we decided to take a different direction and look over the pond. And we'd spoken to many colleagues who said, you should really come over and meet people over here, which is exactly what we did.
But they'd also given us an insight into doing international matters.
Right.
Because we had a few cases where it involved a Chinese person,
Sure.
And there was translation involved, and also in different places. So they actually asked us if we could come into Europe for them on a couple of matters.
Yeah.
Right.
So we discussed this and said, well, if there's licensing involved, that's what we need to find out.
Right.
it's totally different in the UK to the US.
Sure. Oh, it's very different, actually. Yeah.
It's different throughout the states.
Even each state in the United States is different. Yeah.
Yeah. We realised that when we came across.
We just have to contact the person who's the expert in whichever state or whichever country. And it's the same with international work. So you have to deal with it in that way. And so as we came over to the US, we met people just as we did with you, Matt.
Right.
Because we look different as well. Yeah. So they want to know
who's this tiny guy.
Who are these two people?
I must introduce myself. Right, and the shirt. Right, that was the other thing too.
And the shirt.
Right? Always having the shirt. Yep.
Yeah.
The calling card.
In fact, it's. We nearly lost the case because Phil got suited up one day.
I don't recognize this guy.
Somebody had been looking for Phil, and he didn't have his tropical shirt on.
Right.
Anyway, but it's also worked in across here in the UK and in Europe because they look out for a colourful shirt, and if we're at a meeting, even with a suit on and a tropical shirt, we stand out. So
yeah, definitely.
We get asked what we do, and we can. It's a conversation breaker, isn't it? So
I'm sure. I'm totally sure. What would you say? Like, how many countries would you say that you actually have relationships in each service?
It'd be difficult to number them. I think there's about 6 or 7 that we don't have.
Okay, well, that's a better question, right? How many have you not?
That's a better way of doing it. There's about 6 or 7 that we don't have, but there's not many.
There's got to be a lot of fraud in those 6 or 7 countries. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
In the troubled areas.
Yeah, when you've got 100 and odd to go at, we just don't bother with the 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very, very cool.
Good.
Yeah,
it is good.
That's really good, really good. What would you say it would be one of the challenges of trying to manage all this work? What would you say would be the biggest challenge?
Well, you don't want to create it in volume, and you want to make sure that every case that you do to the most professional standard and to the best of your ability. Yep. So to that end, we don't take it in volume. Mm-hmm. We like to help our USA clients and worldwide clients in different countries, put them in touch with the best people there are. And if you look at both our profiles, LinkedIn and other things, you'll actually see people who we've worked with give us recommendations.
Sure.
That's really the direction we're going. We'd rather have one case that we can get our teeth into and make sure that we do a good job.
Right.
It's more the bespoke rather than, it's not a volume entity. Not
this industry, you really can't. Yeah, you really can't.
It's no good. No, it's not good.
Yeah.
And you don't usually get. It's making a reasonable wage at the end of the day.
Well, that too, right?
To go from address to address, as you know.
Those shirts that you wear, they're expensive. They'll be able to afford them.
Tommy Bahama is too big for me.
So what I really wanted to highlight here with you guys is just, I wanted to introduce the audience to you, audience to you guys, right? And just make sure they know about you. So, when you get those calls for international work, instead of just turning them away, at least saying, let me call my contact, let me reach out and do that. And just, making sure folks know that their businesses like yours out there, that either they're going to service you or they're going to point you in the right direction to how to get it done. Or maybe they'll refer you to one of their contacts in a particular country to get things done. So, the resource is definitely amazing.
We always encourage people to contact us, and we always say, we will know somebody who can possibly help.
Right.
Give me a few minutes, let me make some calls. And if we can't do it, we'll tell you we can't do it.
Yeah.
Just give me a few minutes and let me reach out.
You guys were the investigator database internationally before it even started.
Well, exactly.
We have to point out to all you US PIs.
Be nice now.
I'm being really nice. It's just a personal point. You have to remember the time zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, guilty, guilty.
It's so simple. But if you have a case that's in the east, obviously your day may have started and
Yeah.
you may have finished over there, and the same with contacting ourselves.
We're right in the middle.
So when we have a case come out of California and we have to talk to somebody that's the matter might be in the Far East, say that they've asked me to deal with, it may be 12 hours ahead in the Far East, and so they're shutting down for the day, and California's opening up for the day, and we're stuck in the middle. So there's a time lag.
Sure.
And sometimes that works because the information is available and it's already. You just got to put that into perspective.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Speaking to your client,
Yeah.
and make them known, because you're still working in your day and the people at the other end have finished.
Sure. So how do folks get a hold of you if they wanted to ask you about a particular case?
Email. Our mobile is on constantly. Obviously, we use the messenger apps, but we don't use messenger as such.
Yeah.
We use a mobile number. Telegram, Signal is compatible with that mobile number.
Sure.
WhatsApp is huge in Europe.
Yep.
No, America, it's not so huge as yet.
Yeah.
But,
well, you know, our president's trying to shut it down. So.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Not for much longer, though.
WeChat is another one that we use, and of course that's
WeChat's big in China. Yep.
It's enormous.
Yeah.
You can do everything with WeChat. You can buy anything, do anything,
pay your bills.
Right.
So
lots of fraud in there.
But yeah,
possibility.
The easiest thing I would say to anybody is just type into Google Phil and Yin Johnson, JJ Associates.
And usually the contact.
And our contact comes up.
Right.
And usually with some sites that are related to us, that we've done blogs and things like that.
Sure.
So that's easy.
Sure.
Google
We've helped a lot of people recently with relative searching, with beneficiary searching.
Right. Due diligence, stuff like that.
It's a sign of the times. It's very sad at the moment. We're all feeling it, our mental health and everything. A lot of people have been trying to get in touch with people that they haven't done for a long while. And also, there's been a lot of online dating.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
People are getting online. And
geez, that's a whole nother show on its own.
That's another show entirely.
And I did recently help out somebody who was dating a fraudulent profile, shall we say. Yeah. We've all come across inquiries like this.
Sure.
And it just really explained to her that she needed to be very careful.
Everybody has to be careful out there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of creeps out there.
Things, simple pointers that as PIs we all know. I mean, when the information was sent over to me, I said straight away to Phill, I says, well, if she thinks that this is a real guy,
no, not at all.
I'm going to
super catfish. Yeah.
Let her down.
Yeah.
So he was faking that he was from the UK, and he even gave his address as a football team.
Fantastic.
This lady had no idea. I mean, when I looked at it, I mean, we all know. I mean, it's just simple things that.
So I'll tell you a funny story real quickly before we wrap up. So I had one of these situations where I was trying to verify a telephone number, and the telephone number we were trying to verify ended up belonging to somebody who had a criminal record, and this person registered their name and address to the local public defender. So when we were trying to identify him, the number came up as like the public defender that would defend him whenever he got arrested.
Wow. Oh dear.
So wow, that's somebody with a really good sense of humor. So very interesting. So hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on here. It was great catching up. Haven't actually seen you guys in a long time, but we've chatted online a lot here.
We always do. Keep in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, and I encourage folks, if you have that international work, don't turn it down. Contact Phil and Yin and at least run it by him, right? Yeah. So it's good stuff. So, all right, guys, stay healthy.
With asking the questions.
Stay healthy.
You too.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, everybody.
Keep well.
Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll catch everybody next week on the next program. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you to Phil and Yin for joining us from Portugal. It's amazing that they've been in this business for 34 years and have seen this industry change the way it has. Folks, if you have international cases, reach out to them for help. Big thanks to Six Figure Investigator Marketing, Amos, Crosstracks, IRB, and USABugSweeps.com for sponsoring the show. Now, have you checked out investigatorstoolbox.com yet? Remember, it only takes 41 cents a day to unlock the future of investigations. So make an investment in your business and yourself. Today, the 25% legacy discount has been extended until December 31st. So don't miss out. Use code PIP201836 to save even more. If you have a question or comment about the show, email Matt at matthews@satellitepi.com. You can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We'd like your feedback so we could bring you the best shows possible, so chime in. And if you would be so kind, we'd appreciate it if you subscribe to this podcast at Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify. We'll be back Monday with a new show, so make sure you tune in and stay safe out there, everyone.